Last year, after being fed up with several power cuts, I decided to get a portable battery, and the one I went for after lots of research was the EcoFlow Delta 2, which has been fantastic. But typically we've not had one power cut since buying the battery, but far from being an expensive paperweight, I've actually used it for quite a few things actually. Using the laptop in the garden, vacuuming in the car, drilling, wood chipping, and even cutting my dog's hair. So I'm a big fan of batteries, and the Delta 2 has been great. But I'm not here to talk about the Delta 2. EcoFlow approached me and they said, would you like a Delta Max and a solar panel to review? So obviously I said yes. So here is the EcoFlow Delta MAX. And the first thing you'll notice is that it's really heavy. It's 22 kilograms, same weight as my 10-year-old daughter. Be careful when you're lifting it. But it's a 2 kilowatt-hour battery in here, so it's quite a powerful beast. So once you've got it out of the box and you've had a lower back massage, then you'll notice that there are loads of ports on this thing. On the front, you've got 4 USB-A's, 2 of those are capable of doing fast charging. You've got 2 USB-C's, they're 100 watts, and it's a festival of ports on the back as well. At the top, up here, you've got a solar port, and for car as well, if you're going to charge off your 12 volt. Not sure why you would want to do that, but anyway, you've got 4 AC plugs, and you've got 2 of these DC 5521 sockets, and a cigarette lighter style plug as well. On the side, you've got 2 extra battery ports, which is great, and that means you can expand the capacity of this to 6 kilowatt hours. And on the front, you have this fantastic display up here, which is really clear. The Delta Max comes in 2 flavours, 1600 or the 2000. I've got the 2000 here. The number relates to the battery size. So 2000 is 2 kilowatt hours, 1600 is 1.6 kilowatt hours, of course. And 2 kilowatt hours is a lot of power. That will quite easily power your fridge freezer for a couple of days. Charging to 80% takes 65 minutes. If you're used to electric cars, you'll know that up to 80% is generally much faster than the last 20%. So same with this. And of course you can charge it on AC, your normal AC socket at home, or you can charge it using solar, which I'll get to a little bit later. Now time for the science bit. This is an NCM battery. NCM battery chemistry is fantastic, it's tried and tested and it's in most electric cars, but the disadvantage is that it doesn't last quite as long as the newer LFP batteries. It will do 800 cycles down to 80% capacity. In other words, you do 800 full charges and discharges, do that 800 times and you will have lost 20% of the battery's capacity, or around that figure anyway. Contrast that to the Delta 2, which I've got. That's an LFP battery. LFP batteries are longer lasting. That will do 3000 cycles to 80%. If you want to use this as an emergency power supply, in other words, you can plug this directly into a wall socket and plug devices into this. If your power goes out in your house, this will switch over to the battery power in 30 milliseconds. So 30 milliseconds is very fast, but it's probably not going to be fast enough for your computer. At least it isn't always when I tried it anyway. I did a few tests with the Delta 2, so if you want to watch that video, please do. So let's talk about using it. It's so easy. I mean, it's plug and play. Get it out of the box, and all you have to do is turn it on and plug stuff into it, and it works. The screen at the top tells you how long you can expect the battery to last based on the power usage at that moment, and it will tell you, of course, how much power you're using. It will get delivered with about 30% battery capacity, so the first thing you'll want to do probably is plug it in and charge it up. But be aware, because this is NCM battery chemistry, not LFP, it's not a good idea to leave it at 100% for a long period of time. This type of battery really doesn't like that. What I would recommend is charging it up to 80% and leaving it at 80%, and then if you know you're going to need it all day, charge it up to 100%. So it's all ridiculously easy to use, and what makes it even easier to use is the app, and the app is fantastic. The Delta Max doesn't have Bluetooth, but it does have Wi-Fi built into it. Setting up the app is very simple. Download the app, you can use a QR code to scan that to get the app, and once you download the app, just follow the steps to add the device, but it is really simple. You just have to connect to this using Wi-Fi and then tell it your home Wi-Fi connection, and then it will connect to that. One other thing you'll want to do with the app, the moment you get it, is upgrade the firmware on the unit. Follow the instructions, again, really simple, just takes a couple of minutes. And really, once you've got the app, it's quite simple. You can turn on any of the separate little sections of power. So this is like the USB block. On the back, you've got the 12 volt block, and then you've got the AC block. And you can turn on all of these blocks of power, either using the buttons on the actual unit or using the app. And the combined power output is 2,400 watts, so that's really impressive. So in my previous video about the Delta 2, I tried charging the Nissan Leaf using the Delta 2 and it didn't work. And I wasn't sure why it didn't work actually. And apparently it's because the Nissan Leaf requires it to be grounded. It requires a grounded power supply. And that's what this little thing does. But I'm going to talk about that in another video. It's a bit of a cloudy day, but there is a bit of sun. So let's plug in the solar panel and we'll see how much we can recharge. EcoFlow make a few solar panels. This is the 220 watt one, and what's really neat about this is it's the front and the back that collects solar energy. So you've got 220 on the front and 155 watts on the back, which collects ambient light. It's IP68, which means it's waterproof. It's 9.5 kilograms and there's an up to 23% conversion rate, which is pretty good. I'd recommend putting the battery behind the solar panel so it's out the direct sunlight. And if you lift up this little flap where it says solar car input, you can see that's where the plug goes. And they supply this lead with it, and you can see we've got red and black, so that gives a clue where that plugs into the solar panel. The solar panel comes with positive and negative, and you see one has a little bit of red on it. So you don't have to be a genius to work out that that's where the red bit goes, and the black bit plugs in there, and they click into place, and then we just have to put the little plug here into there. So the sun's peeking out through the clouds a little bit, and now we're getting 120 watts. So it's 5 o'clock, we've been charging most of the day, and we've got 48% battery now, so it's charged about, what was that, 18%? So who's it for? Well, the obvious use is for emergencies. It's great to have this as a battery backup in case your power goes out. Some places in the world power goes out quite a lot, so this is perfect for that. It's also perfect if you're going camping, or if you've got a motorhome or camper van, whatever. It's really great for that, especially with the solar panel. It's really heavy though, so obviously it's not as portable as my Delta 2, so bear that in mind. It's probably not going to be quite as useful as that was for me, just carting it around with one-handed, vacuuming the car and everything. So what do I like? Well, it's 2 kilowatt hours in one package instead of the Delta 2, which you need 2 separate ones. It's well built, it's easy to use, the app is fantastic. It's got support for a grounding cable, so I can charge a lot of EVs that you wouldn't ordinarily be able to charge. And it's got a really impressive power output. So overall, it's a fantastic package. Paired with the solar panel, it's pretty special. Just a shame it is so heavy. If you're interested in getting one, here's my referral link. Thank you very much for watching. Please press the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of other videos. And I'll be back really soon. Okay, bye for now. Back to some weightlifting.